hearts race, and the crowd goes wild. All across the nation, the Dirt Track Warriors duke it out for what matters the most: the trophy and the glory. This is Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises.
And welcome back to Gas and Glory, the place where we talk about what matters the most, the trophy and the glory. It's Guy Looters and Neil Quick coming to you direct from the studios here at R&R Enterprises. And Neil, it was a huge weekend for a couple of our modified drivers, Kenny Wallace and Kenny Schrader, tearing it up in the modifieds.
Yeah, pretty cool to see. Both of them are on a hot streak right now, and I think it's got Kenny Wallace wanting to do some more modified racing.
You know, Kenny on Twitter always has, I'm going dirt racing, I'm going dirt racing. He's just jazzed up about doing it, and it's great to see. And speaking of him, he set a new track record at Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe, Ohio. He won at Putnamville Speedway in Indiana, and then he won his dad's race, the Russ Wallace Memorial at Tri-City. We got the chance to do the shirts on that. Shirts turned out great. Yeah,
it did. It was a great event, and definitely a perfect time for Kenny to get hot to win the Russ Wallace Memorial. It was pretty cool to see.
And Tri-City, always a good speedway over there in Illinois. And we talked about Ken Schrader a little bit. He won at El Paso County Speedway all the way out in Colorado. Like, Schrader and Wallace, they're going west, young man.
Road
Go
trip.
west. Road tripping it. So, good to know, good to know. A few of the other things for Team R&R, Darren Pittman grabs his 10th win of the 2014 season at Lincoln Speedway. He beats the posse, baby. Beats the posse, but the Outlaws were shut out at Williams Grove as Greg Hodnett and Lance DeWeese won the Summer Nationals at Williams Grove. But, man, Darren Pittman, the knock on him last year was he didn't win enough. This year, he's got the most wins on the circuit.
Yeah, he definitely keeps winning races, and really interesting to see how racing kind of transpired up there in PA this last couple weekends.
Donnie Schatz extends his points lead to 65 over Darren Pittman, 106 back to Paul McMahon. Joey Saldana picked up his 19th quick time of the season while the Outlaws were in PA. He's sitting fourth in the points, by the way. And he almost had number 20 at the Grove on Saturday night, just barely missed it. Joey Saldana, man, on a tear in time trials.
Yeah, he is. He's very hot in the time trials. If he could just kind of put that together at the end of the night, it'd be a good thing for him. I know he's slipping a little bit there, and they're working on things to try to keep him up front there.
You know what the amazing thing is that with close to 20 quick time honors, that's almost half the season.
Oh,
when you think about that, to be that good in time trials across the wide variety of tracks that the World of Outlaws go to, Joey Saldana, fast wherever they go.
Yeah, it is. It's impressive from big track, small track, different places they go, and to keep getting quick times. And I think probably Joey's wanting a little bit more of that to translate into finishes at the end of the night, but pretty impressive to see.
Yeah, it certainly was. And Rico Abreu and Sammy Swindell took on Knoxville in preparation for the FVP Knoxville Nationals coming up here very soon. Sammy set quick time. Rico timed in 14th of 35 cars. Sammy with an impressive 6th-place finish. Rico was in 12th. Sammy will be back at Knoxville this coming weekend as Rico heads and gets ready to do a little bit of midget racing.
Yeah, I heard Rico actually, I guess he's going to be running this week too over at Tri-City at the Mao event in the wing sprint car. So
he's everywhere.
Yeah, he is. He's all over the place, kind of like our modified
What was the
drivers.
name of that credit card company? Visa, everywhere you want to be?
Yeah, something like that.
Rico, everywhere you want to be.
Man, you can catch Rico anywhere doing anything lately.
I'm beginning to think he's got like a private jet or something.
Stick him in a modified or late model.
Oh, yeah, there's that'd be awesome, actually. There's a lot of guys. That's what I kind of miss about having the prelude to the dream.
Yeah.
You see the NASCAR guys and then IRL guys and even Ron Capps from NHRA jumping in a late model. It was a great event. And, Neil, one event that I want to talk about coming up at Eldora, we're very excited about it, the second annual 1-800 Car Cash Mudsummer Classic. The NASCAR trucks are back at the Big E for the second year in a row, and I got to tell you, we're looking forward to it, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. It's been looking forward to it since it ended last year, and I know yourself, you've probably been looking forward to it besides hosting the event again for us here at R&R.
I'm not hosting, not after last year. No.
I think we could have renamed it the Kyle Burning Mudsummer Classic.
I think
Kyle's apartment's on fire.
The hashtag on Twitter was burning down Baldwin.
Inside joke.
It pretty much came close to that after Schrader won the pole.
Well, I noticed that you're not hosting the event this year, and then you tried to pawn it off on me, and I was brave enough. I figured this out.
You weren't brave enough. You chickened out.
I absolutely chickened out.
You did chicken out.
Yeah, I didn't want any part of this, so I guess we're having the event here at the office tomorrow.
Yeah, that's someone else's worry as far as that goes. But Neil, I want to talk about what that event means to both NASCAR and to Eldora. Some of the hype around it, and then we were very lucky again this year to do quite a bit of the merchandise and the T-shirts that you're going to see over there.
Yeah, very pumped about the idea that we got to do some of the event shirts for the vendors over there, and very excited for the opportunity that they have with the fan base there to move some of our merchandise and put it out there in the market, especially to the NASCAR fans.
And talk about what does that race mean to NASCAR, and then what does it mean to Eldora? Because you have two entities that are very, very popular in American motorsports lore. NASCAR, the #1 sanctioning body, probably the #1 form of motorsports in the world, and then Eldora Speedway.
The world's greatest dirt track?
There you go. It ranks right on up there. You've got folks coming from 45 different states all over the world for this event. So what I want to get from you is, what does it mean to NASCAR to have this event on dirt at Eldora, and then what does it mean to Eldora to have NASCAR come there and run a Camping World Truck Series event?
Well, as being a dirt track, I think Eldora, and kind of speaking for these guys, I think it means a lot to them. It kind of separates them from the other dirt tracks out there. When we talk about dirt tracks, we talk about Eldora, Knoxville as being the premier facilities, and being able to have a Camping World NASCAR Truck Series race, I think it even gives them more boost, and actually I think it pumps up the fans, the dirt fans, to come and watch NASCAR racing, so there's a little bit of crossover there too, and I think that would probably go to the aspect of what NASCAR is looking to get out of it. I think they're trying to get some of those original dirt racing fans that might not be attending some of the NASCAR events sucked back in by doing some of this dirt racing. So I think it's coming back to the roots for NASCAR. It's good for them. And as it goes for Eldora, it can't get any better than having an opportunity to have a NASCAR race and bring those new fan base to see their facility too.
We're going to debate that a little bit later on in Squeal or No Squeal about whether or not NASCAR should add more races on dirt. That's something that I want you to build your arguments for. We'll get to that in just a little bit. And
I hope we're on the same page on this one.
You never know what's going to happen. I have a special surprise for you, though, this week in Squeal or No Squeal, so it's going to be pretty awesome.
Awesome. Great.
Neil, we're getting through the month of July right now, and we've kicked things off Memorial Day weekend, the month of June, hot and heavy with the Hell Tour. We've kicked off the month of money. For the fans listening, describe the point that we are at in the season. When you're talking to these drivers and these teams, what's the pulse? What's things like? What are you hearing? What's the challenges right now of this portion of the schedule?
Well, I think there's a lot of things that come into play this time of the year. You're in full stride of racing. The big events are coming. So as that happens, I think the pressure gets turned up on the race drivers, the teams, the families, everything. But this is the time to, as a dirt driver in the top ranks, this is a time to make your living and be able to bring the checks home and do what you need to. And same thing for us. As a company, this is the time of the year that we've got to be able to perform and get all the new merchandise turned around and the new designs and be able to put a good product out there for the fans to be able to buy and to support the drivers. The drivers, the teams, the sponsors. It's a full circle type deal, and it all has to come together before everything to grow and everybody to be able to enjoy it and continue where we're going.
You mentioned a couple things in there that were very important. The big events are coming up, as well as getting some apparel and merchandise turned around. And I had the opportunity this past Saturday night to speak with 2013 Knoxville Raceway Track champion, as well as a new R&R customer, Bronson Maeschen. And I want you guys to take a listen to this. Bronson has been running very well this year at Knoxville. Rainouts have kind of affected things a little bit, but he had some very interesting insights. So we'll go ahead and we'll play that back for you guys, and be back in just a little bit. Great interview with Bronson, though. And standing by with Bronson Maeschen, the 2013 Knoxville Raceway Track champion for the 410s. And Bronson, describe your 2014 campaign so far. Mother Nature hasn't been the most kind as of late here, but describe how it's been so far up at Knoxville.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird. It's hard to even remember. It seems this has been a kind of a second off season, so now we feel like we got to work bugs out again and stuff, or rustiness anyway. But it's not all bad. We've had a bit of a roller coaster. Had some had some nights we've still been really fast, and we've had a couple nights that we just really didn't do real well. And so, you know, maybe it was good to go on a little break and try to get real strong before the Nationals. I know that's a lot of other guys are coming in from out of town to do the same thing. So just kind of start the second part of the year now.
What's it like when you start to see some of these bigger names like Sammy Swindell, Rico Abreu, these guys starting to deviate from their regular schedule and come up to Knoxville to get those extra laps before the Nationals?
Yeah, you know, it's been tough here all year, so but you kind of get used to it with the means it is Knoxville. It's the best track in the country, and but yeah, it seems like it's getting a little earlier and earlier every year to the Nationals, and it's great for the racetrack and stuff. Too bad there ain't more money to go around for everybody, but hey, this is a tough place to race, but it's most rewarding when you win. So
you talk about rewarding, winning that track championship last year. How big of a moment was you, and is it still set in yet that you are the track champion, defending track champion here?
Yeah, it's funny because I think it does more as you go. You know, we come back and struggled more this year. It feels like a way bigger deal, which is neat and all, but then at times, you know, if we struggle a little bit, it doesn't, you know, it's like, well, I guess I wish I did feel like that again, I guess, when you're having a bad night, get your confidence back up. But, yeah, you know, that's so neat. This place is such a neat historic racetrack, so the fact that they can never take that away no matter what, that's a really neat deal when you actually think about it.
Give us a little bit of a preview for the Nationals this year. This team ready to rock and roll?
Not quite, but we will be. So weather's looking good now, and we'll be ready when it comes.
And that was 2013 Knoxville Raceway Track champion Bronson Maeschen. And Neil, very humble guy, very cool guy to talk to, very knowledgeable about the sport and what goes on with his car. But you know, he's an old farm boy from Pleasantville, Iowa. He's got a great sensibility about him.
No, very cool. It seems to be well-rounded and grounded down there, and been really cool to get to do stuff for Bronson this year.
Yeah, well, we certainly wish him the best of luck, as well as every member of Team R&R. We congratulate them on their successes this past weekend. Look forward to seeing more the coming weekend. Give you a preview of what's coming up. The World of Outlaws STP Sprint Car Series is heading up to Fulton, New York, before going on up to Canada with races in Quebec and Ontario. And honestly, it's not a huge money-paying race, but one of my favorite races of the year for the Outlaws.
Really?
Is the event at Autodrome Drummondville in Quebec.
Why so?
Because when I was there in 2011, they explained this to me. I had a guy come up to me. He wasn't much older than I was, and he says, "You're going to be on the microphone." Yeah. He goes, "I am your translator." Oh. He goes, "So you just say whatever you're going to say, and then I'm going to follow you with a microphone. I'm going to translate it for the crowd." So that is the only place I've ever announced at where I had my own personal translator following me around.
That was kind of cool.
It was so awesome, dude. I had no idea what they were saying. And then when they do the pre-race intros with the drivers, they go all out. They bring all the cars out onto the front stretch in between the catch fence and the stands. And they have this laser light show. And they have these big studio lights on top of the grandstand that they point at the drivers. And I have to tell you, these Canadian fans go nuts when they introduce them. All I can remember is this: Steve Kenza! And the place just went wild. I had no idea what the guy said. I wanted to text Johnny Gibson and go, what? Okay, is he your translator? What did your translator just say? I don't speak French.
I bet you that's an interesting trip.
Oh, it is. But, I mean, the folks at Drummondville put on, it's a phenomenal show. I mean, I think that the pyro and the lights and everything like that, the closest thing I can tell you what it's like here that I know you've been to is like going to the St. Louis Supercross.
Well, we've talked about that kind of at the water cooler between doing things and figuring things out for racing, and we've all said that that goes a long way, especially in sprint car racing or late model racing, to bring that type of things or different things and aspects to the races. I laser shows and the pyro, and I think that gets the attention of the fans, and it's definitely a great addition to pump it up.
So do you think we need French translators too?
I wouldn't go that far.
I was impressed.
Were you?
Kenny Wallace and Kenny Schrader are out and about. Wallace is running dirt races like crazy, also jumping back to Charlotte, North Carolina to do the old TV gig. How about our boy Schrader? He's running the truck race.
Yes.
I'm seeing somewhere he's running a Silver Crown race. And I'm hearing ARCA race. Schrader is just everywhere.
He was in here the other day. I heard he jumped in a midget, too.
Yeah, he did. He jumped in a midget on July 12th.
Yeah, I heard that. And many times after he told me he'd never do it again, sure enough, he did it.
I bet you somebody just offered him enough of his favorite beverage in exchange for his driving duties. That's what I'm thinking it is.
That would get it done for him.
Oh, yeah. So that's it's a little bit of what's going on here, like Neil mentioned a little bit earlier. The big events are coming up. We're looking forward to seeing them, seeing who's going to win them. The anticipation of the racing season, I think, at this point is reaching a fever pitch. It certainly is reaching a fever pitch around here. We're busier than I'll get out. Neil's brought the cot back out in the office here, and looks like you need a shave, actually.
I probably do, and honestly, the cot is here. But how did the guitar get in the studio?
See, that, my friend, is my surprise for you today. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been our show so far, but it is now time for my favorite segment on the show, Squeal or No Squeal.
I'm scared.
Each and every week, folks, we pose 3 racing-related questions for Neil Quick and I to debate, answer, and have fun with. And this week, I brought in my guitar.
Is there any way I can opt out of this contract for this?
Nope.
This was not in the deal.
I was thinking about this. I was on my way back to the office from lunch today. I went home and picked it up because I had this idea earlier. And I said, I think I can write Neil a song.
Are you serious?
Are you a fan of Dierks Bentley?
Who?
Dierks Bentley.
Yeah, I know who he is.
All right, are you a fan of Eric Church?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
He's a squealing.
Okay, we're done.
Squealing.
We're done with this.
Okay. All right.
We're done. Put the guitar up.
No.
It's not like we're done.
All right. You got question number 1?
What's question number 1 this week?
Let's go for it.
All right. Does a second Knoxville National title mean more to Sammy Swindell than a 4th World of Outlaw title? I'm going to go... Yeah, I'm going to go squeal on this one. Sound effects, seriously?
I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. Sammy really wants to win another Knoxville Nationals title. He's come so close in the past. 2000 and pick any of the years at the beginning of this decade. It was a heartbreak for Swindell. And then the past couple of years, he's had trouble just making the A.
Yeah, it has. I think it was the 50th when he really put up a fight that year, and I think he had it all but one there, and tire issue got him there, and we've seen how that turned out for him. But since then, he's really been actually off the pace up there, and I think that had a lot to do with him taking this time off to go back up there and get some testing and some time in there to make him better for this year's Nationals.
Heartbreak. Question number 2: should the Outlaws race in Canada more? Squeal or no squeal?
No squeal.
No squeal. I'm going to go squeal.
No squeal.
I'm going to go squeal because the Canadians know how to put on a show.
Well, and
I mean, what did I tell you about earlier?
Well, I understand. I understand you're saying that, but logistics for them to go up there and run what they're running right now, and it's very difficult. I think it could be. I think they could come up with something else and take some of the stuff they've learned in Canada and put it in the races here. So,
and even talk about it from a merchandise standpoint. It's tough. It's very tough to get that stuff across the border.
Absolutely, and that's
you had a few late night phone calls that were kind of like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. I think honestly, it's I'm a little biased in that situation. Those phone calls come in and you're trying to get some stuff back cross customs. It's fun stuff.
It's very fun stuff. And you got our last question for us, bud. This is the one I've been looking forward to.
Should NASCAR add more races on the dirt? This is absolutely a squeal. Yeah, I'd add more, and I don't know if you can add enough.
I'm a little bit torn on this.
Oh, no.
I'm going to...
Be careful, because I might pull a Kyle Busch with your guitar after this conversation.
You better not.
Yeah,
this is not painted up.
Well, I mean...
You cannot hurt Jasmine.
Yeah, you named your guitar. Unbelievable.
Anyway... What I'm looking at here is that the Mudsummer Classic is a unique event. I would say squeal on adding more truck races on dirt. Maybe 1 or 2. And I think you know where I'm going to with this.
Yeah.
I'm not a proponent of putting Nationwide or Cup Series guys on the dirt.
Why?
Because you lose. Here's the thing. You lose so much of that uniqueness. Right now, it's the rough and tumble Camping World Truck Series, Norm Benning banging it off the fence dirt. That's what makes the Mudsummer Classic so cool, is you have those Norm Benning moments. You have this 62-year-old guy calling out the young kid, giving him the bird on the cool-down lap just after he made it into the show.
You're telling me that's not going to happen in the Cup or the Nationwide Series?
It will not happen in the Cup Series.
Oh, come on.
Those guys are too... Can you imagine Jimmy Johnson giving Dale Earnhardt Jr. or anybody the bird after trying to get in from the last chance qualifier?
Well, maybe not Jimmy Johnson or Dale Jr., but throw Tony in this mix, and I'm sure there's going to be some
Tony
fun.
is the exception to all of this.
You throw Tony Stewart,
I'm
Ryan
surprised
Newman,
Tony has not gotten in a truck.
Clint Boyer,
Oh, no,
Austin
Clint.
Dillon. You throw these guys out there on dirt and Cup cars. And
Boyer!
yeah, Boyer. Schrader might come back for that.
Schrader!
All right, we're done with this.
No, so. But anyways, folks, that's Squeal or No Squeal this week. We hope that you had a very good time with it. I know we certainly did. It's our favorite part of the show each and every week. But before we get out of here, Mudsummer Classic pick. Who are you taking?
Mudsummer Classic pick. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with a real dark horse on this one.
How dark are we talking?
I mean,
Darker than that stool you're sitting on?
well, yeah, probably.
Because I got a gray chair and you got a black stool.
I'm going to go with somebody that nobody's heard of.
Oh, gosh.
I'm going to go with Kyle Larson.
Kyle? Really?
Yeah, really.
Oh, well, you know.
Told you,
want to
dark
talk about
horse.
the safe. I'm going with Schrader.
Schrader.
I think Schrader gets her done this year. He put her on the pole last year. I heard that he's got like secret truck, rolling in. I think he's going to be good. I'm going Schrader. I'm going to be wearing a Ken Schrader Racing hat tomorrow night.
If Schrader wins the truck race, there's a chance there's going to be a lot of people unhappy with us because their shirt orders are going to be delayed because there might be some technical difficulties here at R&R.
So if we had Burning Down Baldwin last year,
Yeah,
would the hashtag this year if Schrader won be Demolition in Detmer?
possibly.
I think they'd tear that place down.
It'd be pretty cool.
That's our show, folks. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to Gas and Glory. Remember, you can pick up some amazing gear over at www.r-raceware.com, the web's largest store for dirt track racing apparel and merchandise. And on behalf of everyone here at R&R Enterprises, he's Neil Quick, and I'm Kyle Luders. We'll see you next week.
You've been listening to Gas and Glory, presented by R&R Enterprises. All rights reserved. Please visit the web's largest sprint car store today at www.r-raceware.com. The views and opinions expressed in the show are the host and guest alone and do not directly reflect those of R&R Enterprises.